Okay, right. So I got a question for you, and I think I know what both of our answers are going to be, but I think it's an important topic for us to discuss anyway.
Okay.
So, are you a writer if you're not published?
Ooh. Yeah, course you are. Course you are.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
I knew we were both going to say that, but I still think it's something that needs to be discussed because I see a lot of people in like the author groups getting shitty at each other if they're not published or they're self-published instead of traditionally published, or
Yeah.
so thoughts on
Yeah. Oh, I think it's such a thing, isn't it? It's the external validation of being published is um is like the ultimate goal, I think, for a lot of people. Or it was like
Mm.
post World War II. Like, before the dawn of the internet and
Yeah.
different medias and stuff like that. I mean, I guess it always was. I think that is, I think even for people who are self-published, obviously you can tell me if I'm completely wrong, but I think it still is probably like maybe one of your goals is for like I'm air quoting, a traditional like publication house to sort of pick you up and help you.
This is an interesting one. Actually, I had a conversation with someone yesterday who works in the traditional publishing industry, and she said, oh, lots of our company go out and look for self-published authors. There needs to be like a standard that's held, and normally it's only the big 5 publishing houses that can hold that standard because they have such a huge team behind the scenes. But yeah, for me, I think once upon a time, maybe I thought that traditional publishing was the end goal, but I don't think so anymore, because there's a couple of things that you have to remember about self-publishing. Number one, you get to keep a hell of a lot more of the royalties. I think I get 75%, whereas with a traditional publishing deal, yes, you get an advance, but depending on like who you get signed with and all sorts, it might not be that much. I think you only get 10% royalties with most traditional publishers.
Really?
So it's kind of like, plus the other thing is you get to keep complete creative control, which is something that me and Maddie have talked about a lot, and she kind of champions this idea of like being able to do whatever you want with it. And also when we did the episode self-publishing for series 2, which comes out on Friday, a little plug there, I was talking to one of the authors there who writes LGBT romance, and she was saying that there's lots of things that you can do with your own work and keep the creative control. But yeah, it's interesting. I mean, what about you? Like, do you still hold traditional publishing as like the end goal, or?
I think to some degree I do at the minute, and that might evolve, that might change. I think it already has by like seeing like you and Maddie, and sort of seeing other people have success through just doing it their own way. I think often you kind of you want to emulate your favorite writers' careers sometimes, or at least I did when I first started writing, so I would like look at the publication houses and be like, right, well then I want to be with them, and it's all nonsense. It's all just like,
well, it's not though, is it? Because I think what you say is really interesting. It's kind of like most of us have been writing since we were really young, so a lot of the dreams that we hold are ones that we've had for a really long time. So like I've been writing since I was 6, and I remember my dad saying to me once when I was maybe 10, he said, if you finish a novel, because at that point I had never finished anything, he was like, if you finish a novel, we will find a way to get it published for you. And I mean, he was obviously, I know, super
that's
cute.
so
He was
sweet.
like, I'll do it for like a birthday present or something. When he promised that, I don't think he had no idea like what's involved in self-publishing and how expensive it is.
20 years later.
But I think, there was this kind of thing in the back of my mind of like trying to get traditionally published. And I don't think I realized even into my 20s the process that actually happens with traditional publishing. It's a lot harder than it's made out to be in mainstream media. And I think that's the But that is the kind of career model that we have been taught to aspire to. I just don't think that it is. I'm not sure it's the only way, or the way that I want to go. But I'm not shitting on people who want to try and go that way.
Yeah, no.
You go, Glen Coco.
I think that's the thing. Like, it completely depends on, I think, who you are as a person and your lifestyle and different, like, so many different things factor into.
There you go. There you go. Some thoughts. I don't think we answered the original question besides when we just said yes. You are a writer even when you're not published, because of course you are. Like, the only thing that makes you a writer is whether you write. And it doesn't matter what you write or whether anyone else is ever going to see it, but that is the only prerequisite to you being called a writer or calling yourself a writer. And we need to drop this idea that publication is the only way to prove that writing is good, because it's not. And even if your writing never sees the light of day, it will have brought you happiness, it will have brought maybe someone else that you've shared it with happiness, and that's really what matters.
Definitely. I totally agree.